All right, what's up everyone? Welcome back to this week's episode of Mindset Monday. And how do you prepare yourself for success? So many people want success, but what are some of the key things that you need to put in place to guarantee that you succeed? Make sure you tune in to this entire episode to find out exactly what those things are. Number one, paying off your failure debt. Now, this is something that I can't steal and make it my own. I actually heard this on a podcast with Alex Hormozy, I think about 2 weeks ago, and it really resonated with me because it was like, damn, when they're looking at hiring people to take over their companies, when they're looking for like that 18-player staff member, they will only select people that have gone through failure, that have gone through multiple failures, a big failure, failure over time, whatever it might be, because they've paid off their failure debt in the sense that they've gone through those trials and errors. They've figured out what hasn't worked. They've, failed multiple times and had to start again, whatever it might be, to be able to gain what they needed to gain from paying off that debt. Think about that. For so many of you, often you're so afraid to start or to try again in case you fail. But yet failure is formative. Like if you want to succeed, you actually can't do it without failing, right? You can't walk as a kid without falling over multiple times to then figure out how to balance and find your equilibrium to be able to then walk. So it's the same with whatever you're trying to do, whether it's be fat loss, whether it's in business, whether it's in your relationship, whether it's in just general life, you trying to be a better you. You're not going to do that until you pay off that failure debt, until you gain the lessons that you need to learn from paying off that debt in order to then have the opportunities on the other side, to have the lessons that you need in order to make better decisions, to course correct, to do things in a better way. And it's the same with anything that you're trying to approach, right? So rather than being afraid of failure, look at it in the way that, okay, cool, like, in order to get a credit rating in most countries, you got to take on debt and you got to be able to handle that debt, right? In order for you to be able to succeed, I know I need to fail. So if there's something that I need to get really good at, let me go and fail at it really quickly multiple times so that I can gain what I need to in order to succeed at it. And when you change that perspective, it's powerful because now you're preparing yourself for the journey. You're preparing yourself for what it's going to take to succeed. Number two, progress over perfection. Now, if you've been a client of mine or in my world for a while, you probably don't want to hear me say that again because I say it all the time. But for so many people, they wait for the perfect time. They wait for the perfect circumstance. They wait until this lines up with this, lines up with this, lines up with this, and the stars and the moon and the sky and all the rest of the stuff, and now I'll do it. Whereas during that same period of time, they could have been progressing forward. They could have been doing the things that they need to do in order to arrive where they want to arrive, to achieve the result that they want, to end up at the destination that they want to end up at. So yet we sit and we wait, or we approach things in a way where it's perfection or nothing. And if I can't do it perfectly because my kid's sick, work's busy, I'm flying, I'm sick, I'm stressed, something happened at work, I've got meetings all morning and I can't get to the gym, if your whole world is attached to doing things perfectly or not at all, then again, you're going to struggle to progress because it's either all of this or nothing. And the gap between how long you do nothing versus how long you can stand perfection tends to be pretty big, right? Like I get multiple moments of perfection, right? Multiple moments when the universe lines up for me, and everything else in between is nothing if that's your approach, versus being progress. And the days that I attain perfection, it's a bonus, right? It's not really my intention. It's not really what I'm aiming for here. I want to nail that 80%. And I'm going to nail that 80% longer than any other motherfucker out there because I know that consistency breeds success. Consistency leads me to momentum. Momentum will then lead me to rapid results, right? Which is why, again, discipline, consistency, momentum feels like motivation, right? But at the end of the day, for me, I want my progress to be my focus because the more that I progress, the more that I'm going to end up closer to the results that I want, and the more I'm going to be able to succeed at multiple different levels. Number 3 is pretty close to the last point, right? Having the whole sense of done versus pretty. Like for so many people, they want to make it look perfect. Like I won't start my business until I get my website done, until I get that done, until I get that done, and get that done. And look, I made that mistake and it's fucking hilarious. Like my first group at gyms, I spent $15,000, no shit, on a website, built this back-end software. It took me like 12 months to get this thing done. And it was this lady in Canada that had done all these things for like huge gyms in the fitness industry and all of this notoriety and everything else, right? Sounded super cool. In that 12 months, guess how many leads I got from that website? None, because it wasn't fucking built, right? And then once the website was built, how many leads do you think I got in the next 3 months, right? 1. Because it wasn't optimized properly. It wasn't how things work. And it took so long that the industry changed over the 12-month period anyway, that everything back then became about SEO. I'm just giving you context. I hired an SEO person. He built me a 1-page website in a week, right? That website then turned into about 10 to 15 leads a week. A week, all right? And it cost me like $750 versus 15,000, took 12 months. The following 3 months, so in 15 months, I got 1 lead and it cost me 15 grand. I paid $750, it was done in a week, and I was getting 10 to 15 leads a week, all right? Again, like it's just looking at what it is that you're trying to achieve. And for you, if it's like getting to the gym, if it's 20 minutes and it's only 20 minutes, if I've only got 20 minutes to walk, if I've got, life is crazy and I keep buying takeout because it's easier and I'm in the car, stop at the supermarket, buy a packet of wraps, a roast chicken, and a packet of salad, and if you want to, some fat-free mayonnaise. Open the boot of your car, rip, pack, in, squeeze, roll. Here you go, kids. All right, done. I used to do it for my kids all the time. On road trips, when we go to the beach and they're like, Daddy, I want McDonald's and everything else. I'm like, no, we'll just stop and get a roast chicken, right? It costs you $9. All up, you're probably in about 15 bucks. And it's actually cheaper than what you're gonna spend, and it's healthier, okay? But again, you're trying to make these things. I don't have time to prepare meals. I don't have time to prep my food for the week, because you think that it's gonna take you 4 hours and it needs to be lined up perfectly in every little Tupperware container and everything else. It doesn't, right? Done. Better choices versus pretty and perfection is really what we wanna aim for here, and making sure that we can start piling up more dones over time. Because every single time I take action that's in line with the result, I make a choice that's in line with the outcome that I want, that stacks up and compounds, right? And that's what's gonna lead to your success. Not these stories stacked up about all the reasons why you couldn't do it perfectly, or how it wasn't how you needed it to be, so therefore you didn't do it. Or I didn't have the money to do it, but yet somehow you spent another $150 on fucking takeout this week. And you know it, right? But yet you didn't have, what is it? In America, $9 to join the gym for the month. You didn't have it, right? It's too expensive. I can't join the gym. But yet you found $150 this week just on takeout. Again, all right? Have to decide how you are preparing yourself for success. Because if you're living the same way you always have, telling the same stories, making the same choices, again, how you think you're gonna get a different result. I'm actually currently reading David Goggins' new book. And if you've never read his first book, You Can't Hurt Me, all right, I would recommend that to everybody, right? It's the longest audiobook I've ever listened to. It's over 7 hours, but I think I've listened to it 3 times now. I do it on long road trips because it's just the perfect companion, and it's a really, really cool story, and it's interview style, so it's very engaging. Anyway, in there, David Goggins talks a lot about building calluses of the mind, all right? And what I want to talk about now on point number 4 is building the calluses that you need to hold on. All right? And what I mean by hold on to this journey long enough in order to succeed. Hold on to the simple things, to simple focuses, to doing the do day in and day out long enough to see the level of results that you want. Because so many of you are willing to do the work, but only for a certain period of time. You're only willing to hold on until your hands get too sore and your fingers hurt and you end up letting go. Whereas if you can build the fortitude, build the calluses that it takes to be able to have that stronger grip strength, to be able to hold on even longer, to be able to achieve things that most people don't, because you've done one thing above all. You held on for longer. You kept doing what you needed to do for longer, right? And when you can tie that together with discipline, like I said, progress versus perfection, right? Getting yourself to the point where you have simple things to focus on and you nail those things day in and day out, regardless of what's happening in life. That's how you're going to prepare yourself to play the long game, and the long game is where you will succeed, right? There's nobody in this game, in any realm, in any industry, that has succeeded without failure, that has succeeded without playing the long game, right? Maybe a few crypto millionaires, but most of those disappeared as quickly as they came, right? The ones that are still in the game have learned how to master things over time. All right, so regardless of where you are at the moment, right? If you're finding that you're afraid of fear, good. Dive into it so many times that you no longer fear it. And like I said, use it, pay off that fear debt, pay off that failure debt to gain what you need to gain to move forward. All right. If there's anything that I can do to help you succeed in any way, whether it be mindset, whether it be get into the best shape of your life, guaranteed. All right. Reach out to me, send me a message, send me an email at adam@ilovechanginglives.com, and let's chat and let's talk about how we can guarantee that we prepare you for success.